Huh. That cookie looks like it needs to be clicked. Hmm. Well, that's interesting. Huh. What if I just... Oh. Oh. Hey. Oh, hey, a cookie. Ooh, frenzy. 7 times. Ooh. Okay. Well, hello and welcome to Cookie Clicker. This is my coffee chat stream. I'm gonna be sitting down here for probably about an hour, and just gonna see how many clicks I can get, how many cookies I can get in this hour, and just gonna chat. Hopefully my audio is better this time, because I checked it on the last stream and thought it was good, but my volume was up on my headphones, and so when I went back to edit, it was low again. So I did a test and did some recording, and I think it should be good. But yeah, I'm just here to chat, to talk. I got my coffee, and I'm here to click some cookies, and that's what we're doing today. Just nice and simple, straightforward. It looks like the frenzy's done. My family is gonna try some of my cookies. Cool. Got some stuff there. Where's the shop? I haven't played this in quite some time. My friend Kevin and I were talking about it while he was streaming, and I said, "Hey, what the heck? Let's play Cookie Clicker on the PunPastor stream." It's been a really long time, so I feel like I should be able to purchase some stuff here, but it's not showing up. So I don't know what's going on, but we'll troubleshoot a bit and see what happens. Maybe it's when we reach 500. I don't know. But I just brewed my coffee and sitting down. I had this will be my second cup today. I had a nice dark Colombian roast this morning, trying to get a new morning routine going, because it's been pretty terrible, honestly, my routine since we moved. But okay, past 500. I don't know, but I've been trying to wake up and listen to a podcast in the morning. Well, as of this morning, I decided that I would wake up, listen to a podcast, have a cup of coffee, and then get my day started. And it seems to be working pretty well. I feel like I have more energy, more momentum. I also, last night, tried just reading before bed instead of being on my phone. And wouldn't you know it, I slept really well, actually. Let's see. I'm not seeing any shop come up. What is going on? Your family accepts to try some of your cookies. I don't know. I feel like there should be something going here. This is interesting. I'm gonna get to 1,000, and then I'm going to Google it, because I don't know what's going on. But we will see. Maybe I'll click some buttons as well. But yeah, I am feeling pretty stressed right now, and so just having a nice chill stream where I'm clicking some cookies seemed like a good idea. All right. Well, we passed that. Got our achievements. Okay. Stats. Options. Maybe. I don't know. This doesn't seem to be working. This is frustrating. Anyway, I'm stressed because money is tight, honestly, and rent is expensive. We didn't have to worry about it for about 6 months because we moved out of our moldy apartment and in with my parents for a little bit. And we moved out so that we would have more space, and we found a great deal. And we're just cutting it close this month. And we have a baby on the way. It's stressful. Cookie clicker. Upgrades. Not showing. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, y'all. What? I don't know. Am I doing something wrong? This is just not good. Come on, YouTube ads. Skip. Okay.
Temples is where we need to start. So if we can get temples to 200, that'll probably be the only thing we can do. Yeah, we're
Oh.
So that's fine. Go ahead and ascend.
I'm an idiot.
5 levels, perfectly fine.
Wow. Am I just stupid? I'm just stupid, I think. Hey, there it is. I had the upgrades covered on my screen. I feel so dumb. So dumb. So dumb. This is stupid. I'm so stupid. This is the worst stream in the history of Cookie Clicker. I need 1100 for that, so I might as well just keep going. This is my life. This is my life. I feel like I make such stupid mistakes. And 1100. Let's get a farm. Great. Yep, there we go. Farm is going. Okay. Okay. Wow. like I said, I've been stressed recently. And this is what happens. I do dumb, stupid stuff like this, and well, at least we were only 10 minutes into the stream before I realized that I am a dumbass. Could have been a lot longer, but okay. Now we can finally get on with things. Welcome to the technical difficulties stream, where I am my own worst enemy. That is what is going on today. Man. I'm just gonna let this run up. I'll click with it. It is called Cookie Clicker, not Cookie Sitter. Yeah. With my wife Sandy going on maternity leave soon, and incorporating rent back into things, and having just moved and needing things like paper towels, and we had some of our own groceries, but now we need all of our own groceries, and just, I don't know, buying this desk, buying a weight set and treadmill so that we can stay healthy. It's like, I don't know, all of the expenses of life just add up. But how much? Hey, there we go. Okay, get another farm going here. Let that ride up a bit. Life's expenses just add up. And in the Bible, Jesus talks about something called the daily bread. And it's a part of the Lord's Prayer, is what it's called. It's basically like a template for how you're supposed to pray. And we're supposed to ask God for our daily bread. And it goes back to, I think, when the Israelites were in the wilderness, God gave them manna from heaven 6 days a week. And on Saturday, they were supposed to collect enough for Saturday and Sunday, but they were only supposed to collect what they needed. Let's get some grandmas up in here. And if they collected more than what they needed, then it would be moldy the next day, or full of maggots or something like that. It wouldn't be edible. And so the only day they were allowed to collect extra was on Saturday. It was always just what they needed, nothing more, nothing less. And I've been preparing for this message that I'm going to give at church on Sunday in 2 days. And one of the things that holds people back, I think, from believing in God is just worry about life. And so I'm talking about the parable of the sower on Sunday, and essentially the premise is that that there's 4 types of people who hear the gospel. There's those who really just are caught up in what life has to offer, and there's those who are just lacking roots. They believe in God, but they don't have a church community to help keep them accountable or focused. And when life gets difficult, then they end up losing their faith and trust that they've built in Jesus, and they focus more on their hardship. And then there's the folks who man, my memory is not doing well right now. Honestly, there's the people who are planted and have roots, but then their faith gets choked out by the deceit of life, worries in life, and the deceit of money. And that's where this idea of daily bread comes in, is with that third group. The fourth being people who are planted in good soil. The seeds are the hearts of people who hear the gospel in the story, and the this idea of daily bread comes into play with that third group of people. And it's just so difficult. Money is difficult and such a difficult topic, and it's one of the ones that Jesus talks about more than anything in the Bible, for good reason, because it's a difficult topic. It's really difficult to navigate. Hey, you got some cookies raining down from the sky. That's cool. But it's such a stressful issue. It's like such a common issue in marriages and in life. It never really gets easier. And so I'm going to have some coffee. It's obviously a really difficult subject to talk about, why I'm like struggling to talk about it, and why I've all but abandoned clicking on these cookies. But I was listening to this sermon as I was preparing, and it's talking about how people who have exactly what they need and get their daily bread, they are the most blessed. Because people who are in a bad situation and they're trying to like claw their way out of it and get on that grind, that's all that they can really focus on, is the grind. And they become so obsessed with money because of their situation. And then people who have an overabundance, people who are rich, it's so tempting to want to see that number continue to go up. And my wife and I have investments. Like, we're going to be fine. We can move money around. We'll be okay. We're not like in danger of being evicted or anything like that after just moving in. We wouldn't have been accepted if we couldn't afford the rent, obviously. But it's like, it's still so stressful for some reason. And even seeing the money come into our bank account this morning, because it's the last Friday of the month, or it's the fourth Friday, whatever. And it's getting, our direct deposit is getting put in for the next pay period on the 1st. Our bank, because it's still July, was like, hey, you can't transfer any more money. And I'm like, ooh, I sent a check to our landlord, and I really need that check to clear, and that's stressful. But I have plenty of time. Like, it's not the 1st, but we just I don't know. We become so wrapped up in money, whether we're rich, whether we're poor. Or whether we are getting our daily bread. Even though we're getting our daily bread, like the Israelites still tried to save mana. Mana sounds like we're playing like a wizarding game or something like that. Like they still tried to hang on to the mana, the bread that fell from the sky. They tried to hang on to it, and it got moldy. Because it was more than what they needed. And so even though we're getting our daily bread, it's still stressful. And so I'm probably going to talk a lot about that on Sunday, just because it's relevant right now. I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. I'm going to buy a bunch of cursors. that are gonna do some clicking. Yeah. I'm gonna get back on that clicker game. Oh yeah, doing good. Oh hey, we'll do that. We're up to 100 cookies per second. That's pretty nice. Let's keep upgrading those grandmas. It feels really good to process those things, actually. It's really difficult sometimes being a pastor. I think there's a stigma that pastors have it all together and just have it all figured out. And really, if there's anything that I've learned from being a pastor, it's that we don't. And I've worked with a lot of pastors, and I don't know, it's this weird insider thing of like, we don't want to admit that we don't have it all together. But really, the best way to disciple people is to show that, yeah, even pastors don't have it all together. And that's okay. It's not like a requirement or anything. In fact, it's better if we don't. I know Paul talks about that in his epistles, his writings to the church. And he talks about how, like, he's a flawed human being and he needs the gospel just as much as anyone else. And so don't just imitate him, but imitate him as he imitates Christ. And I feel like that's what I have to do, is just be honest. Like, I've been in these situations. I've been in seasons of life where I've been tempted by the things the world has to offer, and it led me farther away from God. There's been seasons where I called myself a Christian but wasn't connected to church community, and really my faith ended up being really shallow because of it. And it was just a very difficult season to feel like I didn't have other Christians supporting me. And I'm living in the season right now where I have to be careful to not get choked out by the deceit of money, because it's so easy to try to build up our own wealth, and we have a baby on the way, and so we want to provide for our baby, and it's not a bad thing, but we shouldn't be so focused on money that it takes away from our relationship with God. And so that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about on Sunday. And man, it's being able to process through that is just so valuable. I really appreciate that I'm able to minister in this way, to be able to hop online and play Cookie Clicker and talk about this parable that I'm going to be speaking on. In a couple weeks, I'm going to be talking on wisdom, and there's 3 books of wisdom in the Bible. And maybe I'll cut here, and I'll have that be the next video where I talk about wisdom. But I'll go ahead and talk about that now, because we're on the live stream, and what I do in editing later has very little impact. Hey, golden cookie. Oh, hey, I got some bonus cookies. And our cookies are being talked about for miles around. In a couple weeks, 2 weeks after Sunday, I'm giving another message on wisdom. There's 3 books of wisdom in the Bible. It's the books of Proverbs, of Ecclesiastes, and Job. And Job was written probably sometime in the time of Moses, maybe. A lot of things that are written in the book of Genesis are passed down orally by oral tradition, and then written down. At some point, Moses was like, hey, I should write some of this down. And at least I think that's how that happened. But really, Job took place around that same time. My best guess is sometime after the time of Noah. maybe. Or maybe it's before the time of Noah, and then everyone got wiped out shortly after that by the flood. But who knows? The flood might even be made up. Who knows? I have no idea. There's like some interesting biblical things that I'm looking into in this season regarding the book of Genesis and the things written in that time. And was it just a story, or did it literally happen? And that's an important differentiation. That's a big word to make. Hey, get some minds going. You know the drill. Hey, awesome. Anyway, that's something I'm looking into. That's not important to what I'm going to talk about in that message. But the books of wisdom essentially are different perspectives on life. And obviously I'm struggling a little bit in this season, but I am so baked right now, according to this achievement that I just got. But I'm trying to maintain my focus on God. And so I'm speaking on wisdom because it's a preacher's choice sort of thing. And there's been a lot that I've had to wrestle with my condition of just like, God, why did you make me this way? Why am I in pain all the time? If you didn't watch my About Me video, I have a condition called fibromyalgia, which basically means that my nerves misinterpret pain, or they're swollen isn't the right word. They're like, I don't know. Essentially, my nerves are like, we're in pain all the time, even though there's no reason. It's like when you have an anxiety. It's like an anxiety attack for your body, because anxiety attacks are when your body goes into fight or flight mode, and you're like, well, I guess anxiety attacks affect your body too, but your anxiety triggers a fight or flight response. This is like my body is triggering pain, like it's reacting to pain that isn't there, and it's just a constant 1 out of 10 at the very least all the time, and there's spikes and things like that, and some days are better, some days are worse, but I frequently ask God for wisdom of just like, give me some perspective on why I am this way. Like I just don't get it. Why would you want me to be in pain? And because I trust God, I trust that there's a reason. Just because I don't understand it doesn't mean that there isn't a reason, you know? And so I'm going to be speaking on wisdom in the book of Proverbs and the book of Ecclesiastes. They're written by or in the perspective of King Solomon. And in the book of Proverbs, he's one of the wisest dudes in the Bible. He prays and asks God, can you give me what I want? And God says, okay, I'll give you one thing, whatever you want. What do you want? And he asks for wisdom, which I think is pretty cool. But he's asking for wisdom, and he writes down the book of Proverbs, which is basically, here is how to live a good God-focused life. And if you can do this, then you will live a good life, and everything should work out. And he's a wise dude, and so it's like, okay, yeah, sure, I will trust that what you say is true. But if you read through that and then look at your own life, it probably doesn't match up. And so that's why the book of Ecclesiastes offers a different perspective, because Solomon, same dude, this one, it's likely that someone wrote this about Solomon, or took his teachings and wrote them down, or something like that. But essentially, the point is, It's saying here's what should be happening, but it's not. Um, the stock market will tank. Good people die. Uh, Bad things happen to good people. Like, like it's a perspective on life that, man, everything is actually really crazy and chaotic. And as soon as you think that you have the rules figured out, things change. The rules change. And I feel like I can empathize with that, because it's just like, yeah, I thought I was on a good track in life, and things were working out, and then all of a sudden, we're moving. My sleep schedule is messed up, and all of a sudden my work hours are all over the place, and my supervisor is talking to me about getting to work consistently and stuff like that, and I'm like, man, I had this down. Like, I I was doing so well, and then this variable comes in, and all of a sudden it's done, it's over. I missed a golden cookie. Like, we're moving, and my condition flares up. I'm getting bad sleep, and it's like, okay, time to go back to the drawing board and figure all of this out all over again. It doesn't make sense. And then we come to the book of Job. And Job is a guy who God said, well, look at this righteous man. And although it likely wasn't written yet, I'd say that Job was someone who followed the general idea of the book of Proverbs, that if you follow these things, then you will live a good life. And God says, look at this guy Job. He is righteous and he is good. People can be good. People have the potential for good if they follow what I ask of them. And there's this guy, the Satan, which is where we get the name Satan. But it essentially means the opposer, the one who opposes. He's the antagonist. And the antagonist, the opposer, he's like, well, of course he's righteous. Of course he's living a good life, because you have given him so much. He has given God, you've given him a huge family. He has livestock. He has land. He has a wife. He has friends. His life is good. So of course he's going to follow you. It's easy, because everything is going his way. And so God says, okay, well, then let's do this then. God proposes a test. And he says, I will take away all of the blessings that I have given to him, and I will show you that he is still righteous, and that the righteousness of humanity is not contingent on the things that they have. And so they do this test on Job, and it seems a little cruel at first, but essentially Job's livestock die, his family, like all of his children, get crushed in a building, and his wife turns against him, and his friends turn against him. They're like, you must have done something, some crazy sin that has put you in this position. And Job at some points is like, no, I have done nothing. And they continue to accuse him, and sometimes he begins to doubt, and he's like, God, why are you doing this? Why is all of this taken from me? And sometimes he's like, no, God is sovereign. God has a plan, and there's a reason for all of this suffering. And it's like this emotional roller coaster and this debates where he's like having to stand up for God against the people that he cares about most. And eventually Job is just like, I can't take it anymore. God, I don't get it. God, you are a liar. You don't want what's best for me. And all of this was pointless. I followed all of the things correctly, but now all of this was taken from me, and I don't get it. I'm suffering. I'm covered in boils and wounds, and I just can't do this anymore. And God actually talks to Job, and he's like, Job, where were you when I created the earth? Look at the Leviathan and the Behemoth, these giant mythical creatures. Where were you when I did all these things? The stream may have cut out there for a second, but Job essentially challenges God, and God says, Job, who are you to say that none of this makes any sense? You have such a limited perspective. Meanwhile, God has the perspective of all of humanity, all of existence, all of creation from beginning to end. And God has this best perspective on things. And so the books of wisdom show us, I should say first that God ends up restoring double to Job because of his faithfulness. But it's obviously the thing in the story, the purpose in the story for Job's suffering was so that God could show that humanity has the capacity for righteousness despite hardship, and that there is an enemy, an opposer, that has no problem with making you feel terrible, even though you have done everything right in life. And so we look at these things, and we look at these books of the Bible. The book of Proverbs says that there's a righteous way to live life, and that's its perspective on wisdom. The book of Ecclesiastes, wisdom is that life is chaotic, and as soon as you have the rules figured out, the rules change. And then the book of Job shows that even when you do everything right, there is still room for things to go wrong that seem to make no sense. And there is suffering, and there is an opposer who wants to do you harm. Because God doesn't do harm to Job. He just says, look at Job. Job is a righteous man. Take everything from him. That's fine. The opposer is the one who takes everything. And God allows him to do this to show that humanity can still remain loyal to God despite their hardship. But there's a righteous way to live life. There are ever-changing rules that don't make any sense in life. And there is suffering and opposition in life. And at first glance, it looks like these are three different perspectives on wisdom. But I think it's important to look at them in the context of each other, because I really feel like they fill out one whole perspective on what it means to have wisdom. And I believe that wisdom is perspective. And that's why God can look at Job's challenge and say, Job, you don't get it. You haven't been around for all of this. You don't have the perspective to understand. Because with God, God is very clear about everything, and that's why he has given Solomon this wisdom in the book of Proverbs on how to live a righteous life, because those things are true. If you follow the wisdom of the book of Proverbs, then you'll live a righteous and good and happy life. However, you have to take into consideration that people are variables, and there is like 8 billion of us in existence so far, and we have to take into consideration that life is just crazy and chaotic, and humanity messes things up. People die for no reason. We drink soda that can give us cancer. We are obsessed with being tan, and we'll go out into the sun until we get a sunburn. And life is just crazy and chaotic, and bad things happen to good people, and that's a reality of life. Both of those things are true. They're not mutually exclusive. And then finally, there's an enemy who wants to draw you away from God and wants to prove and show that the things that you have in life and the blessings that God has given you, when taken away, that you will abandon your faithfulness to God. And so there is a righteous way to live, but life is chaotic, and you have opposition in life. And I feel like those three things really round out a whole and healthy perspective on wisdom. And it's something that I have to constantly remind myself, because I sometimes feel like Job, not that I'm this super righteous person, but just that I'm like, God, I'm trying to do what it is that you're asking me to do in life. Like I'm a pastor, I'm in ministry, and I'm still suffering. Some days are worse than others, and some days are better than others, but at least a little bit every single day, my body is aching and crying out for something to change, for something to be different. And God, I just don't get it. And I think of Job and his story, and I think I'm probably just not going to get it. And I think that's the point. I think there's some people who say that we know with 100% certainty these things about the Bible. And really, I don't think you can say that about much in the Bible, because the Bible is crazy, and really it's a story about how great God is and his plan, and how messed up humanity is, and how chaotic we can be, and how much we stray away from what God has for us. And there's so much emotion and so much imagery and just so many abstract things in the Bible that it's like, if you say that we can know with 100% certainty these things about theology, man, I don't know if that's the case. I'm confident that what the Bible says is true. I believe in God. I believe in the core things that make me a Christian. But if we can be 100% certain about things, then what's the point of faith? And I know in my experience with my condition, like I'm not certain at all why this is something that I have to deal with. It's something I have to live with. But I know that there is a reason. I don't know what that reason is. And God does. And that's where I resonate with Job, because I have to ask myself, where was I when God created everything? When God created this behemoth and this leviathan that are crazy and chaotic and dangerous creatures, but nonetheless a part of his creation and a part of the balance of everything. And in the spectrum of creation, my pain means very little. But my perspective in life has only been of pain. And of course, there's other aspects to my life. That's not what I'm saying, that there's not good things in my life, but I live in this body. This is the only body that I know. It is the only, it's the only life that I've lived. Meanwhile, God has seen billions of lives over the course of creation, and there's probably billions more to come, depending on when Jesus decides to come back. But even just thinking about it scientifically, if God created space, right, and time is a construct of space, then God exists outside of time and outside of space, because you can't be inside of something that you created. So if he's looking at all of humanity like a timeline, hey, golden cookie. If God is looking at a timeline of everything, and all that we're seeing is just this short little blip of our life on the timeline, whose wisdom are you going to trust more? Right? The perspective of the little blip, or the perspective of the God who can see everything? Such a heavy topic for Cookie Clicker. Man. To be fair, I did title this stream Coffee Chats and not Cookie Clicker. But I'm gonna see if I can hit 1 million cookies before we end this stream, because that's what my buddy Kevin and I talked about on his stream, was hitting 1 million cookies casually in about an hour. And the first 10 minutes of this stream were me trying to figure out how the heck Cookie Clicker worked, and realizing that I just had part of my window hidden. And so obviously I didn't make it very far, but I'm going to move my mouse over here so I can click with my left hand and drink my coffee with my right. This is really difficult, actually. Wow. Ah, hit my tooth. Wow. Whoa. Welcome back to the dumbass stream. The only stream where I act like a dumbass. This is where I know how to operate a computer and drink coffee. Things just aren't going well right now. Moist cookies from Grandma. All right, hey, cookie trees. Got an upgrade. Your cookies are worth a lot of money. Awesome. Let's get another mine. I had it set to 10 by 10 at a time. I changed it back to 1. Get this mine. All right. We are 50 minutes into this stream. I think we're going to be able to hit 1 milli, no problem. But let's go ahead and see. I might go for an extra 10 minutes to account for the time that I was just being stupid. But we'll see if in the next 10 minutes I can get to 1 million. Let's get a factory going. Oh yeah, Cookie Factory. I just remembered we went to the Dollar Tree, Sandy and I, before a movie to get some snacks, and I was like, oh, Mrs. Fields cookies. I remember Kevin talking about them on The Office, and I can't remember actually ever having Mrs. Fields cookies. So let me get a pack of cookies and try it. I got oatmeal raisin, which is my favorite cookie. If you disagree, get in the comments. I'm not trying to quote Brennan Lee Mulligan, but no, seriously, like, leave a comment what your favorite cookie is, because I genuinely, unabashedly love oatmeal raisin cookies and would take it over a chocolate chip cookie any day. That's just me. Call me an old man, call me a liar, but I promise you I'm being a truther. Oatmeal raisin is just the best. And you know what? If we disagree, that's fine. But I tried a Mrs. Fields cookie. There was a pack of 3 of them. And it was so bad. Like, y'all, I thought Mrs. Fields was supposed to be this popular brand and really good, but it was just all, like, it was like all the cake part of the cookie, and it was really disgusting. There was very few raisins. I imagine if you prefer chocolate chip, that's fine. Again, but I feel like if it was chocolate chips, it would be the same thing. Just like all of this weird, disgusting, thick cake, and very few raisins, and like none of the stuff that makes it good. And it's supposed to be an oatmeal raisin cookie. There was very little oatmeal. Like, this is not made with quality ingredients. It was not made with love. Whoever Mrs. Fields is needs to get her act together. And so I tried it during the movie. It was bad. A few days later, still had them. They were individually wrapped. And I had another one when I was at home, because I was like, you know what, maybe it was just a bad experience. Maybe it was something else that I ate, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it was just a fluke, right? Tried the other one, garbage, disgusting. I literally threw away in the package the 3rd cookie, because it was just so atrocious. Like, I cannot believe that these cookies are popular. They're bad, they're gross, they're disgusting. And you know what? I'll get like cookies from Safeway, and those are really good, but really, really sugary, really bad for you. And I'll get them at Panera. Panera has a really good berry cookie. Again, tons of sugar, so I almost never get them. But I since we're playing Cookie Clicker, please tell me what a good brand of cookie is. Just classic oatmeal raisin cookie. I'll even try chocolate chip if you can tell me a good brand, because it's, I don't know, it feels like all of the big brands, maybe that's a generalization, but at least Mrs. Fields, who's supposed to be a good brand, it's just not good. I don't know. But we just passed 500,000. Let's see. We have a little less than 5, a little more than 5 minutes, because I know how to do math. To reach 1 million, I think that's going to be no problem. We're going up consistently. Ooh, hey. Ooh, frenzy. Hey-oh. And we are definitely going to get there. Nice and easy. 1 million cookies. Oh, yeah. Let's get to 1.4, I think that says, so we can get the bank. Yeah, let's bank some cookies. Oh, we are going to fly back up to 1 million. We are cruising. Let's get some of these upgrades. I think I had 3 pop up before the bank did, but I wanted to get the bank. Let's see if we can maximize this minute. Oh, here's another one. Plain cookies. Adds an extra 1%. That is not too crazy. But hey, we'll take it. Cookie production is cookie production at this point. Oh man, yeah, we are cruising up. Chilling at 1 million. What is this? Sturdier conveyor belts. Factories are twice as efficient. Nice. All right. And thus ends the frenzy. And we are going to cruise up to 900,000. And that 900,000 is easily going to turn into $1 million. Hey, my wife just finished a swimming workout. What makes cookies taste so right? Probably all of the bleep they put in them. Your cookies sell very well in distant countries. Take that, Mrs. Fields. We are expanding into other countries. Let's see. Ooh, let's get some mines. Some more mines. About 10 of those. Ooh, looks like there's another grandma upgrade. Miner grandmas. Ooh. Grandmas are twice as efficient, and mines gain more cookies per second. And that costs 600,000, which I think we're going to hit. Yep, right now. Yeah, miner grandmas. Sugar cookies at 5 million is that next upgrade. Let's see if we can get 1.6 million. I think we get another bank. Banks. Banks. I have issues with banks, but I still bank. But invest your money elsewhere, because banks will get you like 0.01% back on your money. And there's limits on how much you can withdraw. I'm running out of steam. We are 2 minutes from being done with this stream. I'm just going to do an hour today. I once again started a little bit late. And that is on me. It's so weird because I'll be like 3 minutes away from streaming, and I'll like get a couple of things done, and it'll just like clean up and start making my coffee, and it's nice and easy and chill, and like a minute will pass by, and then all of a sudden I run to the bathroom real quick, and it's like 10 o'clock, and then 2 minutes pass by like nothing, and then it's like, okay, well now I gotta rush, and I'm late, and it's so crazy. Will we be able to unlock our bank before we wrap up? I think we will. I think it should be fine. 1.6, yeah, got our second bank. I might just leave this running, honestly, and then come back to it and then see where we're at. But no, I'm probably not gonna do that. I'll save our progress, and we'll maybe come back to Cookie Clicker for our next coffee chat. But this has been the first time that I'm just sitting down and talking about life. Talked about a couple of upcoming messages that I'm gonna give on the parable of the sower in the book of Matthew, and then my preacher's choice is what they're calling it, message on the books of wisdom. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and just hanging out a little bit, having some coffee, clicking some cookies, and I think I'll get some biscotti next time. I have some biscotti at work, but we don't have biscotti at home. I'm definitely going to enjoy a biscotti, but feel free to like, subscribe, you know the drill, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya. Oh, okay, we're still streaming, so